Welcome to Fitzy's Fabulous Scrapbooks. I'm Michelle Fitzgerald, aka Fitzy, and I'm an independent advisor for creative memory scrapbooking, and I'm here to help you make your scrapbooks fabulous. So I'm back. It's been quite a busy spring for me with work and things going on for my daughter, lots of changes for her, and moving, comings and goings. I won't get into it all today, but I think I am back. Work has calmed down a bit. So now I can get back to what I love, scrapbooking with all of you. All right. So today we're going to do a plus sign design sketch. Yay! It's been a while, so I wanted to kind of pop back into that mode, and I am gonna just pop on down to my workspace here. Give me a sec. Oops, I'm in the wrong spot. I'm a little rusty. Here we are. All right, so here is my workspace. We will be creating a sketch from the 110 Scrapbooking Ideas and Sketches book. And let's see, should I show you what I created and then show you the sketch? I think that's what I'm going to do. So I used the Sweet Summer paper pack and collection and came up with this, my little sailboat. So I've seen this sketch quite a few times, and I always say, I'm going to make it, I'm going to make it. And then I can never decide what collection do I want to make it with. So when I saw Sweet Summer, I said, oh, this is a fun one to make a sailboat with, right? Now, I'm going to show you how to make the sailboat, but you know, if boating isn't your thing, it doesn't have to be a sailboat that you put here. You could maybe turn this into snow and then maybe put like a snowflake or a tree with snow on it. If it's still summer, maybe you could make this grass and make it be a tree or flowers. Or so, I mean, there's still a lot of versatility with this, even though it's kind of, and let me show you the sketch too, so you know what I mean. So the sketch actually shows the boat on the sketch. All right. So this sketch is on page 37 in your book, if you're playing along with me. Okay. So it does show the sailboat, but like I said, you can have it be whatever you want it to be. But I have wanted to make this little sailboat for quite a while, I'm not going to lie. So with that being said, I did create mine. Now, my sailboat is a little bit different. I think my sails are probably a little bit longer than what they have photo in the picture here. But you know what? It's okay. It's my page. That's what I chose to do. So I'm going to show you what I created and how I created it. And then you can go ahead and make it your own. That's what's great about sketches. All right. So let me put the book to the side. And so what I'm going to do is create a second page to this layout. So obviously I'm not going to put the boat on both pages, but I'll show you, I'll make the boat and show you how I did it in case you want to make that boat. But you may decide you want to make something different, and that's a-okay. All right. So let me show you the papers that I will be using. So as my base, I'm going to use Island Waters for my base. Now over here, I used purple ice. So I'm kind of doing the reverse of what I did here. So then I'm going to use this piece as my, where you see this white with the speckles, it's going to be this sheet here. Okay. I'm going to get this out of the way so you can get a better look at that. And then to create the base of my boat, I'm using this paper. All right. These look like little starfish, basically. And then to create 2 out of my 3 little waves here, I am using this paper that has all the fun words on it. And then I'm using the back side as well. All right. And that's going to be a little border up here too. And then let's see, what else do we have here? This is the paper that I'm making my sails out of for my boat. This paper I'm going to use for my little banner over here. And oops, I can't lift it up. And this paper here I'm using for the little pole that holds the banner and the sail together. All right. And then I may use some of these little decorative elements from the tearaway sheet. We'll see. And then I was just going to show you, I am going to use this little border to continue on over here. This is from the laser cut border pack for that collection. And then I want to show you here. Well, you know what? I'll wait till we get to that point because we're not there yet. The first thing we want to do is take out our 0 centering ruler, our sketch, and a pencil. All right. And as always, we want to find the center of the sketch. So I'm going to take my 0 centering ruler and I'm just going to try to get a little feel for where that 0 ends up. All right, and that looks pretty centered to me. Now, again, I say this every time, but it doesn't have to be exact. You just need to get in that little ballpark. All right, so I'm going to put a mark at the top at the halfway point. Now, remember, this is based on a 12-inch by 12-inch page. So the sketch is meant for a 12 by 12-inch page. So when I'm finding the center point, I'm basically telling myself where 6 inches is on the sketch, give or take a little bit. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the side over here. So I'm going to take that 0 and I'm going to figure out where I think. I have to stand up for this one so I can see the top. So give me a sec. Looks like it's about here, give or take. I'm going to put another little mark there, and then I'm going to just come over and draw my little plus sign. All right. Now what this is going to do is break up my 12 by 12 page into 4 quadrants. Okay. And the quadrants, breaking this down makes it so much easier. So here's quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's just for my own basic information. It's not something that you have to do, but it just helps me get a feel for what I'm dealing with on the page. All right. Now, when I do the plus sign design sketch, typically I give you a pretty definite measurement. Now, it may not go along exactly with how the sketch is, but I give you a definite measurement in terms of what I've created on my sample. Now, this time it's going to be a little different because I don't know if you notice, but on this page, we do some tearing. So the tearing doesn't really allow for an exact measurement, but you can get a pretty good estimate, you know, so it'll be close. It doesn't have to be exact. It's still going to look great no matter if you're a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller with your tearing. It's fine. It's your page. And as long as you're happy with it, that's all that matters. Okay. So, and I apologize, I have a little bit of a head cold that I'm getting over. So I will try to not do too much coughing or throat clearing, but it's hard. All right. So what I want you to notice first off is we have a frame around this whole layout. So I decided, and this is the purple ice. I'm going to hold this up close so you can see it. All right. So there's my purple ice frame, and it goes all along this layout. All right. So I decided to make that frame a 1/4 inch. All right. So that's our frame. Now, up here, we have a border strip, and then we have some decorative elements. So I made the underlying border strip here 1 inch. And now, the way I get my measurements to, which I don't think I told you this yet. I mean, you've heard it on other videos, but just not on this particular one. Each quadrant is a 6 by 6 inch square. So basically, I'm trying to figure out how big things are based on the fact that I'm in a 6 inch square right here. So this strip isn't really taking up a whole lot of the space. So that's why I decided to make it 1 inch. And honestly, when I look at this, it's probably even a little smaller, but I feel like I want to make sure that that top border really shows through. So I decided I'm going to keep it at that 1 inch mark. All right. So for my decorative border element, and they have 2, but I just kept it to 1, and I used the laser cut border that they came in the collection. And I think it's beautiful. It works really well. So I don't feel the need to do a second decorative element there. But I mean, that's up to you. You may be using something different, and it might look good to have 2 of those decorative elements. So it's really based on what you like and what you have in your stash. All right. So now, let's see. So we have a few photos here, and I didn't put my photos on this one yet, only because I'm not sure what photos I want to use. I have a couple of different things I'm thinking about, but I want you to realize that these are I would say this is a 4 by 6 or 6 by 4, depending on how you look at things. This one actually looks a little bigger to me, right? So actually, now that I think about it, I'm going to say this one's maybe 3.5 by 5.5. And this one's probably a 6.5 by 4.5, right? It just looks a little bit bigger than this one. So I think that's what I would go with. And then down here, this is probably even a little smaller. This might just be, well, let's see if that's 3.5 by 5.5. This one is probably, I'm going to say 3 by 5. All right. But the nice thing about this page is there is a lot of space. So you could pretty much do whatever you want with your photos in terms of the size. You could even just put a nice 5 by 7 vertical on here, and that would look great too. So that's up to you. Excuse me. Okay, so now over here, and this is the tricky part. It's all this tearing and strips and whatnot, right? Now, what I ended up doing, they have 4 layers here. So if you see, we have a white layer, we have a really light gray, we have a medium gray, and then we have a dark gray. So what I decided to do is I let the white layer become my border strip sticker that I put on. And I really put that on because I felt like the bottom here just needed a little something to jump off the page. And I think these little umbrellas on the piece that to me would represent sand is perfect. So that's why I did that. So then my sand piece is actually the light gray. And then the biggest piece is this piece that I'm using, one of the pieces for the water. So I'm using this piece for the water, and then the darker piece also for the water, which would be the dark gray here. So the measurements I came up with, I didn't give the white a measurement because I just left it as it's the sticker strip. And then, but it overlaps this light gray piece anyway. So I kind of combined the white and the gray together. And with doing so, I'm going to say it's approximately 1.5 inches. Again, because we're doing tearing, it most likely won't be exact, but it's at least going to get you in the ballpark. And then my darker shade of gray, which is the largest piece in this quadrant, I am going to do as a 2-inch piece, which leaves me with the top piece here. And I'm going to do that also at 1.5 inches. Now, if you look at my measurements, let's see if I got this right here. Yeah, I think that works. So I've got 1.5 and 1.5. So that's 3 + 2 is 5. And then I have about 1 inch or so of white space at the top before I hit the end of the quadrant. So I think I'm pretty close. So that's good. All right. And I'll show you how to make the boat in a few minutes. All right. So let me take out, we're going to put this to the side. Let's start creating. So the first thing I want to do is I just want to get that frame taken care of. And this is really simple. So I'm going to take out my 12-inch trimmer. And I'm just going to cut a 1/4 inch off one vertical side. And then I'm going to rotate 1 turn. And then cut another 1/4 inch strip off. Just like that. All right. And then if we go ahead and put this on, now we have our nice little frame. All right. So that's one thing done. And I'm going to put this to the side for a little bit. We'll come back. And now let's talk about the boat. All right. So a lot of people are intimidated by triangles, and I'm here to tell you, don't let the triangles intimidate you. It's super easy once you get the concept. All right. So if you look here, these are the half pieces of what I cut off here. So what I mean is if I take this one and put it here, and I take this one and put it here, I have 2 full rectangles. So your triangles come from rectangles. All right. So it's just about knowing what size rectangle do you make and how do you cut it. So for these 2, and I'm going to use the same paper. Oh, I need my trimmer again. So for my larger rectangle, I need a 3 by 5 inch rectangle. So I'm going to cut a 3-inch wide strip. All right. And then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to cut at 5 inches. All right. So there's my big sail. Now I'm going to take this strip and I'm going to trim it down widthwise to 2 inches. Oops. And then I'm going to turn and cut at 4 inches. All right. So here's my rectangle for the smaller sail. So then all I have to do is take one of my rectangles and I'm going to put the top left-hand corner, or I could do the top right-hand corner. I don't think it really matters all that much unless, well, it doesn't matter because you're going to get two different ones no matter what you do. So just make sure that you have the opposite corners on the cut line. So I'm doing the top right-hand corner with the bottom left-hand corner. And just to confirm that I'm right where I want to cut, I'm going to use my little guide on the trimmer to make sure it's cutting where I want it to. And it looks good to me. So, all right, so there's one. So now, let me make sure I did that right. Oh, good, because I wanted to do opposite. Perfect. All right, and then let's take the little one. And now the little one, let's see, I think I want to cut, again, the top right to the bottom left. So make sure those corners are where you want them to be. Right on that cut line. Oops, and I think I moved it by mistake. All right. So now I have my boat. Isn't it cute? All right, so those are my sails. Put it there so you can see it. Let me put these to the side. And then let's make our little banner. So this is already, I believe, a 1-inch strip. Yes. So this is 1 inch wide, and then I'm going to cut at 1 1/4 inches in length. Let me just get. All right. So that's easy. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to gently fold. I'm going to try not to crease it because it really doesn't need to be creased. But I just want to get it like corner to corner. And this is a tiny piece to show. All right. Let's see how it's corner to corner. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and snip. And now I have this cute little banner. All right. Super easy. So that goes there. Now I already had, this is about a 1/4 inch strip. So this will be the piece that goes up the middle. And I'll probably cut a little bit of that off once I get the bottom done. And for the bottom of the boat, I am going to be using, if you number your patterns, this is pattern 5 with the red blade. And just so you can get an idea, pattern number 5 is the second smallest oval. Okay, it's this one here, just to give you a little perspective. All right, so I'm going to move that out. You can see I already did some cutting here, but I'm just going to even that out so I can make my boat. Good. Now what I did here, this over a little bit. I lined it up. I used the 6-inch mark only because it's a nice thick line and it's easy to see on the mat. But I'm going to take my mat and I'm going to, the pattern rather, and I'm going to put it about halfway on the paper and halfway off. And then all I'm going to do, and I might just move it over so I'm not wasting, is I'm going to put it in, the little pegs are going to go into this outside groove. And I'm going to start in the middle of the paper. I'm not going to try to come on from the mat because that can mess up your paper sometimes. It doesn't always work well. So just go from one side to the other and back again. All right. And now here's my boat. Oops. Just like that. Super simple. All right. So then if I come back over here, because I'm not going to actually put this on the page, but I just want you to see how it all comes together. All right. And then there's the little banner. Isn't that cute? I love it. All right. So there's our little boat. Okay. Now, the next thing we need to do is some tearing. So let's get our papers for tearing, and I only need 2. And if you're only making this a 1-page spread, you don't even really need full sheets of paper to get this done. But if you're doing 2, you're probably going to need most of a full sheet of each, I would guess. All right. So I'm using the dark blue, but I'm also using the other side. Oh, and before I forget, I need to cut that strip first so we don't forget about it. So I'm going to come over to the straight edge of the paper and just cut a 1-inch strip. All right, so that's 1. Now, because I already did some tearing, I don't have a ton of work that I have to do, but I think what I might do. All right, hold on 1 second. I think I used this for the top layer. Now, with the tearing, if you can see how it's higher, it's wider up here, and as we go to the bottom, the width is less. So that's what I mean in terms of it's not going to be an exact measurement. It might be 2 inches up here, but you might end up with like 1 inch down here. So, but don't let that throw you off, because water is not even, right? It waves and ebbs and flows and all that stuff. So it's okay. It'll just look a little more authentic, and that's great, right? So you can tear a couple of different ways. You can use a tool, and the one that I have here is the double waves tearing tool. It's a little older. I do have a few left in stock if it's something you're interested in or need. But you can also just do it by hand as well. And depending on how you tear, you can either get the full color look, or you can get some white edges. I like the white edge look. To me, I don't know, it just looks, it gives it a little something. I don't know the right word. a little something, right? So the blue, the deep blue, I just did kind of like, I think this was, what did we say? About a 1.5-inch strip. So I think what I'm going to do, because I already have that torn, and I'll show you how to do the other tearing in a minute, but I'm just going to cut this at the 1.5-inch mark. But I think I might even do it just a little bit bigger, because the width on this side is a lot less than the width up here. Which is okay. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal. So I kind of did that And I think I'll tear it down just a little bit to make it a little more even. And one thing I want to show you with the tearing, if you tear toward you on the side you want to see, that's how you'll get the white look on the top. Now, if I see how it's just all that white's coming up, it looks great. But if I turn it over, see how there's really not any white showing on that side. So it just depends on what you want to see on your page. All right. So that's going to be my top layer. And then I'm going to show you how to use the tearing tool too. So let's see. This was going to be about 2 inches. So let's see if we can get it a little more exact. It's going to be tricky. Oh, wait, you know what? I'll go over here. All right, so I'm going to put this little tool around the 2 inch mark, and we'll see how it goes. Oh, and I think, wait, I want to flip it this way so I can see the white on this. Because remember, when you pull towards yourself, the piece that you see or the side of the paper that you see, that's where you'll see the white. All right. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to hold the tool nice and firm, and I'm just going to pull the paper down, and look at that. I get this cute little wave look, and I get the little white caps. That's so pretty, isn't it? All right. And I could even use this strip too, because it's got that nice little look. And on the top here, I got this. So I could even just layer these like so. All right. So again, it's just what you want to do. And then I do want the white to show on this piece as well. And I think I had this one at 1.5 inches. So the mat is really good for this too. It really helps you kind of get a feel for where you want to cut. Oops, wait a minute. I was lining the paper up at the 1.5 and not the tool. That's not good. All right. So now we'll line that tool up at the 1.5 inch mark. There we go. And for me, with tearing, you don't want it to look perfect. So don't worry about making it look just right, or because tearing, it's not really supposed to look perfect, right? All right, so now I'm going to cut this also at the 1.5 inch mark, give or take a little. All right. And now we're good. And sometimes I'll even go back and do a little more tearing just to like maybe this is just a little too nice. Sometimes just to give it a little variety, right? And maybe a little bit. I kind of like this one as is, because then it'll go with this one. So I just need to cut a little width off of this one. And this piece, I believe we decided this is the 2 inch piece. That over there. And we can cut that at 2. So again, like all of these sketches, once you know what the measurements are, it's really pretty easy and it comes together pretty quickly. So I think we have all of our elements cut now. So we can go back here and do some adhering. All right, so let's get our base page down. And I'm going to go ahead. Now, I know some people will probably ask, and yeah, you don't need to use a whole piece of 12 by 12 decorative paper because we have the cardstock. And as you see, like down here, this whole bottom part is going to be taken up by the decorative elements that we're putting on the page, right? But I'm just trying to make things go quick and easy. But if you have the time, I say save the paper, right? Why not? All right. So here is my little top piece here. Oops. And you know what? We need to cut a little bit off of that because we have cut a 1/4 inch off. So let's cut a 1/4 inch off of this as well. And then it won't hang over too far. All right. So then it should just go from here to here. Pretty. All right. And then before I do any tacking down here, I'm just going to kind of lay it all out so I can see what it's going to look like. And again, I have to cut these down a 1/4 inch because of our frame. So I lied when I said we were done cutting. I'm so sorry. So we just want to do a 1/4 inch. And honestly, I think I'm just going to line them all up like so. We'll do a little stacking here to make it go quickly. All right. And we'll just line up but at the 1/4 inch mark. All right. Good, good, good. So let's just see how this all looks together. Oops, I think I put that one on the wrong spot. I wanted this one in the middle. And this one here, just like so. Isn't that pretty? So, and with the 2-page spread, now I know we like to have them all, you know, come across the 2 pages. It's okay if it's not equal, because again, it's supposed to be water and sand. They're never equal. So it's okay. You have permission. So then what I did with the boat is I just tucked the base between the 2 water layers, just like that. And then I put the little pole in and I tucked that as far as I needed it to go. And then here's my, I'm gonna raise it up a little bit. Oops. And the little banner. Just like so. And then where's that little, I had my little border here. Did I lose it? Oh, nope, I didn't. Here it is. And look how pretty. And actually, I could even have these 2. Yeah. So here's my little layout, right? And I think I might move this over a little bit, but you can play and adjust as much as you want. just make it work for you. And I think I had that come up a little bit. Yeah. And there you have it. So I'll go and tack this down in a few minutes, but I just wanted to give you that whole layout so you could see just how quick and easy it comes together. And it's another one of the sketches, which is great. There are some great ideas, and why not use what's already out there? We don't need to reinvent that wheel. We just need to use the wheel that's already there, right? Okay, so there's my fun little sailboat. Oh, it's so fun. The weather is so nice here today, too. It really would be a nice day to go sailing, maybe. Who knows? But at any rate, that's my layout for today. I hope you enjoyed this one. This is a fun one. And like I said, if you're not into the boat thing, there are other things you can do. Trees, flowers, snowflakes, maybe a little animal. Maybe, you went hiking and saw a cute little animal. You could put an animal here. There's a lot you could do with this. So don't be discouraged by seeing the boat if you're not a boat kind of person, because you can make this work for anything, I swear. All right, so that's my 2 cents on that. All right, and I just want to quickly review. If you haven't already done so, please feel free to join our Facebook group. We are FRQ Glitz Girls, and it's myself and 2 team members, and the more the merrier. So hop on over there. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to reach out to me at fitzy'sfabulousScrapbooks@gmail.com. And oh, wait, I should come up here so you can see me again. Hold on. Oh, I'm very rusty today. It's been a while. Okay, so if this is something that you think you would like to do either as a hobby or as, to get a discount, or if you think you're looking to run your own business, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to have a chat. If you are somebody who is signed on under the home office, you know what? You need somebody to help you. My advice is, even if it's not me, find an advisor and join under them, because you get so much help from other advisors. This is a great company to be in and a great group of women. So I would love to help anybody who is looking to get their feet off the ground. And you may make some money. It may not be a lot. You get what you put into it, but maybe you just want to be a hobbyist and get the discount. A lot of people start that way, and it's not a bad deal. So if you have questions or if you want to know more, please feel free to reach out. I would love to have a chat. And if you're under home office and you'd like to finally be under someone, I'd love to have you with me. So feel free to reach out to me and we'll see what happens. I've had people who are under home office come to me and join my team, and I'm glad they did. Yay! It's a lot of fun, and we do monthly Zoom calls, so it doesn't matter where you are. You can be anywhere in the US and I can still help you. It's great. All right, so I'm not going to spend any more time on that. I'm just going to leave that where it is. I'm so glad you all could join me tonight, and I hope you liked what we created. How fun. All right, so I will be back. I'm back at it. All right, so I will see you all next week. I'm going to try to get a Wish List Wednesday video out, so stay tuned. You may see something on Wednesday, but if not, definitely on Sunday. I'm here every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings. All right. Thank you all so much for watching, and bye for now.